Hiya, it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today we are making a card in Design Space for my Cricut Explore. So I've just picked out some cuts here. It's actually going to be a Christmas card. So I've started with my base card. I'm actually rotating it around. I do like to work on it as I'm going to see it. So this is going to be a landscape card. And then we're going to just drag on that corner to make it into the size that I want it to be. Just to say, if you like the finished card and you want to make one yourself, then I will pop this design into my store so that you can download the cut file, project file. You will of course have to purchase the actual cuts if you don't own them, but at least the design is ready done for you, and I'll put all those links on my blog. So now we get to the card, and I've added a layer onto it because obviously I wanted a nice sort of matte on that. And then now I'm dragging my little octopus across, and all I did there was just change the arrangement. It's called, it's under arrange, and you just click on that and it'll spring to front. And now I'm just adjusting the size of him just so he's a perfect size. So if you're not on Explore, then you could actually copy this if you wanted to on your regular Cricut. And then we're just again fiddling around with the design. So I've got here this for you, and I actually decided in the end that I don't want that because I'm going to make it into a Christmas card, so I decided to change that. But for now we're just fiddling around, sizing things up, and all you need to do is literally just move it, click on that corner to drag it out to a different size, back either smaller or larger. So it's very simple to do. So next I'm altering the colours. I like to put the colours on the screen too, similar to what I'm going to be using. Not only does it give you some idea of the finished look of the card, but it also helps you when you're putting the paper on your mat or the card on your mat. When I was sorting the colours out, I changed the card to white. I thought, well, why is my one side of my card not white? And then I realized that the card actually came with a layer, and this actually fitted much nicer than the layer that I had actually added. So I swapped it around and I used the layer that was there, just resized it, and then went back in to do what I originally went to do, which was change the colors. So you can actually put a print and cut on this. So you go into the print and then click on patterns, and then just sort through any patterns that are available to you, or obviously you could purchase. And so I picked out this lovely snowflake one. I thought that was really nice and worked well. Next I went back into the images file and looked for a Merry Christmas sentiment to pop onto the front of the card. I wanted to cut it rather than a printer cut or a stamp, but you could of course stamp if you wanted to. I then found this lovely one by in Simply Charmed, and I just thought it was really cute with the octopus, which came from Birthday Bash, by the way, and I just thought it worked really well. It's sort of a similar style cartridge, that kind of whimsical feel. So I popped that down onto my card. Now clearly the sizing then needs to be redone and slightly sort of move things around just to make it fit. Next I wanted to change the colours on my Merry Christmas. So again, you just click on the item in your layers panel. If you click on it, the actual thing, you get the colour panels come up, and then you can click on the colours and change that, making sure obviously that you're using the right layers. I then go into my colour sync at the top there, and you can see all the different colours of card that you're likely to use. Now I like going into this and seeing if there's any that are quite similar, or also as a way of using my colour palette and maybe swapping things around. Now all you need to do is literally grab whichever item is. You can see there I'm just grabbing it and then dragging it to the colour that you want it to be. The only thing I would be aware of is that if it's the last colour in that last item in that colour and you're not sure 100% whether or not you're going to keep it like that, maybe put something else in there temporarily so you keep that colour for yourself. So here, if you can see, I've significantly reduced the colour palette. The other thing you'll see is that his cheeks and eyes etc. are white. My plan was originally to colour those the little pieces. However, I realized that it would be a lot simpler to actually cut those into the octopus rather than having those elements cut out like teeny eyes, etc., and have those cut as holes into the octopus and put something behind him to show through those holes to create the color. So in order to do that, what I first did was I took those eyes and things off the octopus and copied and pasted a duplicate of him, so I had a blank octopus. I then removed the cheeks off my octopus because you can only do 2 elements for this technique. So we remove the cheeks and then we just have the eyes and the mouth, which is one piece, and I'll click on the body and then the eyes and the mouth together, so you get 2 pieces, and then I click on slice, and what that does is it removes those eyes and mouth. It sort of cuts them into the piece, or whatever it is you've done, it cuts it into the other element. So now we have eyes and mouth cut as little holes into my octopus, and now I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the cheeks. So we're putting the cheeks on the top, only it doesn't really matter, but it's just so I can see the position. We then make sure they're in the right place. I'm then going to make sure I click on those and then the body, so we've got both pieces, and then click on slice. You don't particularly notice anything till you move it, so then you move that way. You can see the lines through the cheeks now of the octopus, of the background of our grid of our mat, so you can actually tell there that it's now see-through, it's a hole. So then we've got the other octopus that has no eyes and mouth, and I'm going to change him to a different colour. So we're going to click on that colour thing there and click it to make it black, and the reason I'm doing that is because then the black will show through the holes of the eyes and the mouth, obviously also the cheeks, but we'll come to that. It also created a teeny weeny shadow around the legs, which I liked. So I then took just one of the shapes. I took a square. Obviously I'm going to make that a lot smaller. In order to get the right shape, I needed to click on the padlock to make it so I can make it a rectangle. As you see, I tried it with the oval and it just wasn't working. So then we just make it small enough that it's going to basically cover only the cheeks, and the mouth, I beg your pardon. We want to keep the eyes black, but the cheeks and the mouth we want in this pink color. So then I change that to pink, and now I'm going to change the arrangement. So I'm going to click on that little box. I'm going to say move to back. Well, that wasn't really what I wanted. That was too fast. So we're going to just move that forward one. Still not enough. There's obviously some extra layers there. So instead we're clicking on my octopus there, just trying to get the arrangement correct. So we're going to move him to the back. There we go. So that's sorted, and you can now see he's got red cheeks, red mouth, and little black eyes. So then we're going to group that together, and we and put it back on the card, and we are ready to print and cut. Now the first thing obviously I need to do is the printing and the cutting, so I will send that to my printer, and it basically just asks you to set that up, pick the printer, etc. If you have a back feed and a tray feed, it will automatically go to the tray feed, which was a little bit of a nuisance. I do prefer to do it from the upright feed for me. But anyway, that then printed, and now it's asking me to load my mat and start the cut. So you can see once it's loaded, it starts saying that it's scanning. And here we are at the actual Cricut. I've obviously sped this up, but here we are cutting all the different mats, and you can see here it's just scanning that printed piece. It's got that lovely big black line, and then it cut it out, and you can see it's a perfect cut and a beautiful print as well. So now we're going to cut the rest of the elements. Here we needed to add my score tool, and just watch the screen, or if you remember to do it, then add it in as well, and it will just score that for you because this is our card. So I will now cut the rest of the elements, and I will come back to you when they're done. Okay, so here they are all cut out, lots of little layers which look quite complicated, but actually if you just follow the design as in the picture on the design space, you will pretty find it easy, and just sort of layer it up. You can see there I've piled them up ready in the layers so that I can kind of see how it works. So let's get putting these together.
You are the icing on my cake, you are the smile I can't replace. You are the way you smile, the way
Okay, so now those are all done, we need to fold and score our card in half and stick that lovely print and cut piece down. I think that's come out really well. I do like a lot of those Imagine background piece patterns. I often would get a cartridge just for that. I didn't have very many Imagine cartridges, but it was great because when they stopped the Imagine and the Explore was there, they did actually put that over to all the Imagine users that all the cartridges were available, which was really, really cool. So you basically, even if you only had a couple, you actually got access now to all of those on your Cricut Design Space. So it's really, really great. Anyway, so you can see I've added some foam to the back of my Octopus there. In fact, I double layered it, and then I am sticking down the presents. I've done the ones on the Octopus just regular, no foam, but the ones on the side here I'm just adding some foam tape. You'll also notice that when I do the foam that I actually put some of the adhesive on there as well. What you'll find is that foam tape tends to come away pretty quickly, so it's always better to put a bit of extra adhesive on there to make sure it's secure and lasts basically. I then just cut by hand because I just wasn't planning to do it, but so I hadn't cut it on my Cricut, a piece of this lovely aqua cardstock just to go on the inside of the card there, and I just think that looks really, really nice. So then what I've done as a final touch of, well, not quite a final touch actually, thinking about it, is I've added some gorgeous fine glitter, and I'm doing that just using my Zig glue pen. The reason I'm doing the glue pen is because it's really great just to add detail precisely where you want it. You can get some really fine ones as well. This is almost like a marker thickness, so it's a little thicker, although you can do it. And then I just give it a few seconds and then tap off, and look at that. And yeah, there's still a little bit extra on there. I'll need to brush off if I even bother, because I rather like it. But you can see it just makes a really nice effect on the card and just makes it look really Christmassy. But the final touch is these gorgeous little snowflakes. I have these in a jar. They've got all different they've got glittery bits in there as well, but I just picked out the snowflakes. I think there's even some snowmen in that jar. It kind of came as a mixed bundle. I have a feeling it was hunky-dory, but I can't swear to it. I will check on all of the details of these products and put them, as always, as best as I can as a list with links for you on the blog post and on the bottom of in the paragraph under the video here on YouTube. And you can see I'm just sort of scattering them really, just to pop them around. I just think it makes it look really snowy and just really nice. And then to stick them down, just a tiny little dot of glue. Don't worry if the glue kind of seeps out the side of your snowflake, because it will dry clear if you're using Cosmic Shimmer. You'll see here that I had to push this one down because the snowflake was slightly bent, so I'm just holding it down. You can see here the glue was kind of popping out, but it will soon dry and won't show. And I thought I'd just add some to the inside as well. And there it is finished, and I think it looks really cool, and I hope you do too. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you like my somewhat alternate Christmas card with our octopus. And if you want to see a load more pictures and information, don't forget to go across to the blog post. You'll find the link if you're on YouTube on the paragraph below this video. Just click show more. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye.